where you are going and what will take you there. Many young people and even old people have never taken time to really think through about themselves. Some people actually fear looking at themselves in front of a mirror. Have you ever felt a little bit scared when you looked at yourself in front of a mirror because there were 2 or 3 pimples coming up? That's nothing. But I want you now to even think deeply from the bottom of your heart, from your soul. What is it that God predestined for you to achieve on this beautiful planet called the earth? I would want to invite you to take a day off when you go on holiday, take a bottle of water, go and sit somewhere under a tree with a pen and a notebook and really think about yourself. I'm not talking about thinking about and mourning about your parents and how you are lacking fees and how your shoes are torn, etc., etc. I want you to look at yourself prayerfully and deeply so that you tap into the enormous potential that God has invested in you. I invite you to think about not just your value, but also your worth. There is that which people see when they look at you with or without a mask. Some people will see you as a champion. Some people will see you as a loser. Some people will see you as a comedian. Some people will see you as a hopeless person. They have permission to judge you because that is what is in their minds. But I want you to change that and appropriate what God invested in you so that you can be able to know your purpose. And once you know your purpose, you start working on it. Please remember to avoid any distractors. Yesterday I stood here and spoke about some distractors. One of the common distractors is wrong company. From this meeting at St. Paul's University, there might be friends. I'm using the word might because probably you've thought about it. There might be friends in your life that you don't need. And there might be friends in your life that you need to look for from today. People who will add value to your life. People who will bring out that which God invested in you. People who believe in you. Even if it's your mom or dad, if they don't believe in you, just tell them to give you time. Are we together? Discover your purpose and go for it. Number 2, discover your passion. Discover your passion. What is it that makes you to throw away blankets and duvets or to stay late in the night? There are times I work. In the last 2-3 nights, I've been sleeping around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m., which is very normal for me. So if you know you'll be working late, you buy the best radio. You buy, what do you call that thing? Sound bar. You buy a nice sofa for yourself because you know you'll be sitting there for many hours, isn't it? Then you buy a heater for yourself or you put some bit of air conditioning in your sitting room. And of course, the Jalua in Lennox, you buy the biggest screen possible so that you can enjoy your Christian music as you work. And you work until you finish the work. Work has never killed anybody. This thing of sleeping at 9 p.m. is for retirees. You're not a retired officer. This is the time you need to be investing for your future. This is the time you need to really tell yourself, if C+ is the best I'll get, then I'll go for it. Yesterday I told the story of my firstborn son, and I can hear my younger sister Cindy has a similar story, who scored 369 at KCSE, and he wanted to score 400. He felt that he had let down his dad, who is a professor, but for me I told him, get 370, and you're good to go. Today Steve is starting his 6th year at the University of Nairobi, Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. He scored a straight A in KCSE. How did he do it? When he received his KCPE results, He went to his I almost said boardroom. I've been to boardrooms many days. His bedroom, and wrote at the back of the door, KCSC 2015 A plane. Immediately after getting the KCPE results, when I saw that writing, I called him, and he didn't need to explain. I told him, I agree with you. The genes in me are the same genes in you. You are an A student. Go for the A. He has never failed exams at the University of Nairobi. I now want him to be the best neurosurgeon on planet Earth in the next few years. And I'm investing the best I can in him. I want to make you a little bit jealous. Every month on fast, I M-Pesa him 25,000 bob for his personal budget. I've bought him a car because a doctor will be driving a better car. I've bought him a small car because I don't want him to waste time on bus stages and bus stops. Some people told me, you buy your son a car, he will carry girlfriends. I said, it's okay, I need to be a grandfather. And that car is not in my name or in my wife's name. When you're buying the car, I told him, go, we'll choose a small car for you, but go and get a PIN, a KRA PIN, bring your ID, go to the NTSA portal, put in your details. This car is yours if you want to sell it, if you want to drive it, if you want to, whatever you want to. It's the most well-maintained car in my compound. This is somebody who is coming up, initially in a shaky background, but now already on the pathway to achieving his passion, becoming a medical doctor and beyond. The two sons that I have already know that the minimum they will become is professors in medicine. We've agreed, we've signed a memorandum of understanding, and we are no longer discussing it. Mine is to support them to achieve that goal. I hope I'll live to see them doing conferences as professors in medicine, because that's what they're meant to do. Now, whatever is called in KCPE is now history. If you got an A, congratulations, a belated one, but now forget about it. The next grade you'll score is one of the most important tools that will propel you to the next level. So between today and the day you'll start doing your KCSE, please invest yourself. Plan your time. My last P is plan. Plan, plan, plan. Nude has already been quoted, and we respect our Excellency, the former president, so much. You are now an adult. You may not be 18 today, a few of you could be, but you're an adult, and we want to treat you as adults. That's how we treat our students. By the way, our students, don't assume that we don't know how you behave after we have gone. Like today, we'll go and come back on Monday. We know there is a matatu that comes here, and the boys sit, and the ladies sit on them, and go somewhere in Ruaka. We know those stories. We know there's a pub somewhere around the corner where you don't go for fellowship, you go for swallowship. We know. And we'll soon close it or ask the person to turn it into a church or something better. But sometimes we let you get a little bit lost so that we can correct you while you're here, and so that you become the best when you go out there. The number one threat to young people today in this country is substance use, and especially alcoholism. My wife has a PhD in counseling psychology, and she has done several researches. One of the researches she did has to do with why alcoholics relapse, those who have gone to rehabilitation. She sampled a good number of rehabs, Asumbi in Western, Red Hill just around the corner, and many others. And the relapse rate is currently at 80%. Out of 100 young and old people that go to rehabs to be taken through the professional process of delinking them from alcohol, out of 100, 80 go home and go back to becoming alcoholics. And even the remaining 20%, the promise that they will never fellowship with alcohol is not really there. And Red Hill, just around the corner, Bahati Geteri probably knows, charges an arm and a leg. They pay over 100,000 bob for just a few days. And in some of this rehabilitation, you really do nothing. It's like you're in jail. It's separating you from alcohol and giving you some little water to try and wash your system, and they give you a few stories. Then they release you and take you 100,000. Now, that journey to a rehab starts mostly in high school. And for most university and college attending students, the most risky transition, I'm glad you've not gotten there, is the time between KCSE and college. Many ladies get pregnant, many men start drinking, because the parents are not there. You're left for hours on end. Please don't allow anything to mess your life. Don't. Be very intentional. I'm not looking at saints. I'm not looking at saints. I know we make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes, but I don't stay there. Once you realize you've made a mistake, you quickly look at it, face it, then start a journey towards recovery. Because if you go on that trajectory, you will fall over the cliff. But let me not go negative. All I'm trying to tell you here is, please plan. Manage your time. Time is the resource that God has given us equally. Nobody on planet Earth has 24 hours and 2 minutes per day. We all operate on a 24-hour clock. All of us, the poor, the rich, the beautiful, the ugly, all operate on a 24-hour cycle. God was fair to give us that. The schools you come from, just by looking at how nicely dressed you are today, are powerful schools. You have graduate teachers all over. The teachers that are in Karori are the same teachers that shared classes with those ones in Alliance Girls and Alliance Boys. Indeed, when TSC posts teachers, it doesn't look at what they scored. Did you know that? They just pick them at random and post them to school. So some of the people who got D- are the ones teaching in Alliance, and the A teachers are the ones teaching in your school, or even a smaller Harambee school. So, and the resources, government has provided so much resource. When some of us were going to high school, there were schools that didn't even have a blackboard, leave alone a library. You have everything it takes. I would want you to make your parent very proud. If you are an A student, now aim for A+. If you are going to get below a D+, make sure now at least you can get a D+. Why am I emphasizing a D+? I know that's a very low grade. The teachers here might not be too happy to hear that. At least if you score a D+, you will go to the COOPS portal sometime next year and select a certificate course, and government will pay for you. If you score below a D+, then there is trouble. There's some bit of trouble. So government has invested so much money. We went to COOPS, as I said earlier on. There's so much money that government has invested to train young people. I hope the next government will not come and undo this. When we have the government-sponsored students here at St. Paul's, at risk of revealing too much, I was telling our nursing students as I finished that at Desta University, where I was the Dean, School of Science, Engineering, and Health, the fees, even today, for nursing students is Kenya shillings 180,000 per semester. So for 3 semesters, that's how much? 180 times 3? 540,000. Multiply that by 4 years if you don't start failing exams and repeating. What is the investment? Now, for those who are studying BSc in nursing here, they only pay 20,000 a semester. So for a whole year, they pay us 60,000. And part of that money goes to SPUSA and activity. So really, It's like you're paying a registration fee. And yet, by the time you get your Bachelor of Science in Nursing, like the first cohort will be doing next year, we will have prepared the way for you to practice nursing, not just here. There are too many nurses around. We'll make sure we have connections in Australia, the UK, Canada, and America. Those 4 countries have purposed that our nurses will practice in those countries because they will be trained at the level that they can. And so, for just a few Kenyan shillings, with their average of C+ in all the subjects and the cluster points, when you come to St. Paul's and train as a nurse, you will be an internationally and globally competitive nurse. I want to say that we also need to think about careers as we think in terms of planning, emerging careers. Thank you, Ms. SPU, for being a software engineer. These are the guys that have taken over the world. When I heard her mention artificial intelligence and robotics, that is what is on the cutting edge. Those are what we call the blue ocean or new frontiers. Those are the people who will become the dollar billionaires without conning anybody. So you better talk to her. You better talk to her. If you're young, you better also talk to her about other things, the possibility of her managing your house, isn't it? Because you'll be sorted. The innovators seated here, the house prize. I told you these guys will not wait until Jesus comes to be billionaires. They are. So please don't forget us when the dollars rain on you. And don't forget God. Yes, so there are careers that are very attractive. Things to do with data science is now very, very trendy across the world. The world is data-driven. Around that, you have what we call informatics. I know that very few universities offer data science, but checking the COOP's website, at least you can see 1 or 2 universities that are already offering data science. Here at St. Paul's University, we have recently developed a Master of Science in Informatics. We hope to invite back our computer science students to now take it several notches high. But don't also forget translation studies. Cindy is here. Last year, we were in the same Bible group, and actually she has not exited the WhatsApp group. And she can tell you she's already employed and has even changed a job or 2 within a few months. So don't get stuck. The message I'm trying to pass to you, my good students and fellow colleagues, teachers, don't just